Welcome back. Part 3, Episode 6, May 23rd, 2021. 12:31 p.m. I start separating the copies of pictures to put them in order. I got it done. I have them separated laying on the pool table, and I need to put them in order and in their own stack. And I will do that. 3:31 p.m. Zoe Madison and I left to go to the cemetery. It had been raining, and of course when I pulled in I drove back to see Wyatt. We sat and visited with him for a little while, and then I drove around to see Megan. Yes, there is water laying on the ground. I took a few pictures, and yes, her flowers are still in the ground west of the south tree. May 24th, 2021. I woke up this morning to my phone ringing. I answered it in hopes it was someone to talk to me about the cemetery. My brother John called. Now, when it comes to me and my brother talking, we talk about a little of this, little of that, and everything in between. We started talking about the cemetery, and I said, I don't understand why no one has noticed. No one wants to talk about it. He said, because she's gone. She's dead. I said, that should not make a difference if they have heart. I said, when you disrespect the dead, you disrespect the living. John was quiet for a moment and said, wow, but yeah, you're right. I told him about the article coming out in the beep, beep newspaper Wednesday. He thought that was really good. We talked about it for a few minutes, and John said, Sis, I believe someone will help. Just keep doing what you're doing. I said, oh, I am. I will. I'm not giving up on this. Giving up on this would be like giving up on Megan, and I'm not going to do that. He said, I love you, sis. I said, I love you. May 25th, 2021, a day of waiting, anxiously waiting to see how the ad looks in the paper tomorrow. I love you, my angels. May 26th, 2021, the ad is in the beep, beep. I'm excited about the paper being out. I pray, I hope someone comes to us. May 27th, 2021, 10:20 a.m. Patty called. We talked about the ad, and I told her I had received a copy of it in the mail. She said, you did? Send me a picture of it. I said I will as soon as Madison comes home from work. She asked, you haven't opened it yet? I said, no, I'm waiting on Madison so she can be here when it is opened. Patty said, oh, so you're waiting. I said, yes. She's the one that's been sending everything and helping me with this. So yeah, I need to wait on Madison. Patty said, oh, that's a nice idea. Yeah, she has. She has been helping. I said, yes, she has. She's the one who has sent, has given ideas at times, ran the material onto flash drives, and has copied the pictures. Patty said, what time does she get off? I said, she should be here between 1:30 and 2 p.m. Patty said, oh, all right. Is my name on the contact where people could contact or email or call me? I said, I put my email, I didn't use my phone number. She said, did you use Patricia or PK Publishing? I said, the only one I have is PK Publishing. She said, oh, you don't have my email for me? I said, no, I think I've only had the PK one. She said, oh, wow. Well, call me when Madison gets home and you guys open it. I said, well, yeah, I will. We talked about the state representatives, the former and the current. I told her about when Jen had talked to a lady named Beep and what she had said. I said, I will send you the information of the state representatives now. Patty said, all right, call me as soon as you see the paper. I reassured her I would, and we hung up. 10:55 a.m. I sent Patty a message and I wrote, okay, Madison gets off work at 1:30 p.m. my time, 2:30 p.m. your time. I think Patty's as anxious as I am. I don't think so. I will send her the copy ad then. Then I sent former state representative, beep, beep. Her assistant, beep, had called and said she would put us on a list. Beep, state representative, beep, beep. And I sent the addresses and phone numbers. I'm excited about the ad. Yes, I'm anxious. 11:17 a.m. Patty called. We talked about the excitement of the ad and what we needed to do next. Patty does have good ideas. I don't follow all of them, but some I do. We talked for just a short time, but she's as excited as I am. 11:28 a.m. I called Patty. I had a question and she answered it. She asked again, "What time does Madison get home?" I said 2:30 your time. She said, "All right, I will wait for a call and pictures." I said, "All right," and we hung up. 11:41 a.m. Patty called back. She wanted to let me know she received the addresses. She said, "Let me get my thoughts right and I will take some notes first. Then we will see what we can get done." I said, "All right." She said, "I can't write it, but I can give them an idea of what we need." I said, "Yes, all right." 12:51 p.m. Beep, beep, emailed me. She wrote, "Hi, Emily. I hope you are doing well. Your ad is published in this week's paper. See attached file. Your ad is at the top left corner of the classified section. A hard copy will be mailed to you soon. Thanks." Beep, beep, sent a picture of the page the ad was on. 4:35 p.m. I messaged Patty. I wrote, "Gosh, I've been on the go. We just now got to open it up. It did not have my ad in. I guess it's to show me what and where it will be. I'm thinking." I sent her 3 pictures, two of me looking at the paper and a picture of the ad. I wrote, "We opened the paper and it was just to show me where the ad would be." I messaged, beep, "I'm waiting to hear back." May 28, 2021, 10:27 a.m. I sent Patty a message. I wrote, beep, got back to me. But anyway, the ad is in the paper. The one she sent me yesterday was just the sample of where or if I wanted to subscribe to the paper or to show me how and where our ad would be laid out at. 11:18 a.m. I sent beep an email. "Thank you so much. It looks great." 2:19 p.m. beep responded with, "You're very welcome. I hope you have a great Memorial Day weekend. Best of luck." Beep, beep. 4:16 p.m. I sent Patty a copy of the ad page. I wrote, "Well, she sent me a copy of the page in paper, but she did say back in the beginning of the ad she had to change some things, and it looks like she did. I hope this works. I pray this works." Patty wrote, "I cannot read it. Man, I wanted my email in it." I wrote, "I will zoom in if I can." Patty wrote, "Well, when you get hits, you talk to them, then I will follow up." I wrote, "It's every Wednesday until June 16th. 5:11 p.m. I emailed, beep. I wrote, "I hope you have a great weekend also. Is there any way I could get a copy of the paper with the ad in it? I could pay for it. Thank you, Emily." 5:34 p.m. Beep wrote, "Hi, Emily. I have requested a hard copy to mail to you. You should get it in a couple days. Thanks." Beep, beep. So I will expect a hard copy in a few days. 8:49 p.m. I messaged Lisa. I sent the 3 pictures and I wrote, "It's in the paper." 9:09 p.m. Lisa wrote, "Wow, how cool. You're in the paper." I wrote, "This one is coast to coast." Lisa wrote, "And Inquirer." I wrote, "I'm so happy and hopeful someone will help." Lisa wrote, "You got this." May 29th, 2021. My day moved on. We had a barbecue and enjoyed some family and friends over to eat and or swim if they wanted to. To me, it just was not warm enough, but a few did get in. As we were all enjoying the afternoon, I happened to look at the time on the oven clock, and the time surprised me. It was 2:22. I thought to myself, is this my sign? 2:22 means not to give up. I got happy and said out loud, "Oh no, babies, I'm not giving up." 4:27 p.m. Patty called. She wanted me to know if we could change the ad to put our phone numbers in instead of an email, because a lot of people do not know how to email. And of course, I had people over, so I couldn't talk long. But she said, "Think about it and we will talk later." I said, "All right," and we hung up. We finished up the day, and it was a good one. And I thank God for this day. May 30th, 2021, 6:42 a.m. I'm wide awake. My chest is tight. My gut feels sick. I just lay here and keep thinking over and over, "Someone, please help." And of course, I'm crying. I don't know if it was a dream or just a deep thought, but at this time I heard a soft voice say to me, "What are you doing awake at 6:42 this morning?" I was shocked and I replied, "Worrying about who is going to help us." Whoever it was, because at this time we talked back and forth, I knew the person. But after I woke up, or whatever it was I was in, I don't know who it was. But I do know what that person said to me. She or he said, "Don't you worry about this. God has this, and it will come out when it's time to come out. It's not you God is trying to teach something to. It's not you." I laid here and I started to cry. I was so emotional off and on all morning. I told Madison what had happened, and she just looked at me and said, "It will happen." I said, "Oh, I know. I just need it to be sooner than later." Madison and I got ready to go to the cemetery to visit Wyatt and Megan for Memorial Day. 1:51 p.m. I pulled in to see Wyatt. Madison put his flag ribbon on his headstone, and I stood there and talked with them for a few minutes, and I took a couple pictures. There were quite a few people out here, and the flowers that have been put out the past few days were so beautiful. 1:57 p.m. We drove around to see Megan, and I noticed there's water laying on the ground, and it's so sickening. I took more than a few pictures. I even took a couple of Madison hanging Megan's flag ribbon in her flowers that are stuck in the ground. Her flowers hang on through all the water that falls and lays there for days at a time for some reason. I stood there and talked with her for a few minutes as Madison walked to the car, or should I say waded back to the car. I turned to walk back and it just made me sick. I wanted to scream out to everyone what they have done. I know I couldn't, but I would have liked to. We both got in the car, and as I drove out of the cemetery, I asked Megan and Wyatt to watch over us. And I said, "I love you, my angels." June 1st, 2021. This morning, waking up was emotional. My chest is heavy. My thoughts are foggy. The tears just keep coming. Why is this happening? Why won't anyone listen? Why doesn't anyone care? Come on. There has to be someone. I went in to make the bed, and I sat on the edge of it and cried. My chest is so tight, and I felt the weight be so heavy. I sat there and asked God and my angels, "Take this from me. It is too heavy. I cannot carry it no more. all the while crying. I made the bed, and when I was done, I left the room and closed the door, with tears still running down my face. I went back to clean the rest of my kitchen, and as the morning was turning into afternoon, I noticed my chest wasn't as tight. The weight wasn't as heavy. I took a deep breath and I looked up and said, "Thank you, dear God. Thank you, my angels." Madison wanted to take a ride, so I drove out east. We had some dinner, and then I turned around and drove towards home. It was a nice afternoon getaway, and it kept my mind from going to the unwanted feelings, thoughts, and tears. Thank you, Madison. June 2nd, 2021. Today is the second week the ad goes out in the beep, beep newspaper. God help it to work. 12:04 p.m. I wrote a paragraph on the cemetery cover-up page. I wrote, May 9, 2015, 2 days after floodwater moved headstones, to not put them back, but to smash them down in the ground, say they cut down a tree that never stood there, to then widening a street corner, to let us believe the headstones had not moved. Yeah, that's the right thing. Not. But I felt it was right to post because I have to try everything. My day was a lot less emotional and stressful today, or at least so far. 4:09 p.m. Patty messaged. She wrote, "So what did you find out, Em?" I wrote, "I will message you when I get home. I'm in traffic." Patty wrote, "All right." 5:07 p.m. I messaged Patty. I wrote, "I'm home. Okay, so next we need to draft laws or get someone who could help us." Patty wrote, "Okay." I wrote, "What do you think? Should we start working on drafting the laws, talking to beep, beep?" Patty wrote, "Yes, and to drafting the laws." 7:14 p.m. Zoe and I left to run a couple errands. Madison had gone to work at 5, and for some reason I needed to go to the cemetery. 7:40 p.m. I pulled in, and there was water laying on the grounds. It hadn't rained since Monday, but this is Wednesday. Wow. How can others not see that this is not right? I drove back to see Wyatt, then around to see Megan. Yeah, her flowers are still there, and of course Megan's area is flooded. Babyland 6 West was and does swim with the fish in a cemetery. So sad, but true. God, I know I call on you quite a bit, and I'm not sorry, because I have learned over the past few months, don't say sorry for what you know to be true or right. And I pray someone comes to us. June 3rd, 2021. It's been in the paper for 1 week and 1 day. And I pray. I have relaxed outside today and I enjoyed it. I asked my angels this morning to show me what I need to do next. I asked them to send someone. May 4th, 2021. When I woke up this morning, I was fighting it. To not think negative thoughts. I prayed to God He would give me a sign as to if someone is going to help or what I needed to do next. I got out of bed and asked my angels, if there's something more I need to do, force me to do it. I pray they do. 12:11 p.m. Patty messaged. She wrote, "Any more emails?" 12:39 p.m. I responded to Patty. I wrote, "I haven't checked yet today, but as of yesterday, no." June 6, 2021. When I woke up this morning, the first thing that came out of my mouth was, "Thank you, dear God." I laid there for a bit thinking. Of course, I started crying. And as my morning went by, I was staying positive. I feel something good is going to happen. I pray to God and I prayed to my angels, and for some reason, I felt a sense of everything is going to be all right. And I have to believe that. 10:57 a.m., Patty called. It was so weird when I saw her name over the phone. I had mixed feelings about whether to answer the phone at that time or not, but I did. I did because I was curious about how she was. But today she was a bit emotional and apologetic. I knew she had things going on and said she was not avoiding me. And I was happy to hear she realized it was her and not me. I can't deal with the unnecessary bullcrap. After we talked for a little bit, she said, I will call you or message you later, but I want to get started on writing the laws. I was quiet for a moment, then said, all right. I was a bit surprised that she brought it up, but I'm so glad she did. And she is still going to help me. Her attitude was better, and mine was too. Thank you, Patty. Really. 1:15 p.m. My brother John called. He said, what are you doing? I said, I'm cleaning. What are you doing? He said, have you heard anything from anyone? I said, no, not really. Like who? He said, it was so weird, sis, but I had a dream that a man approached me and asked me if I was related to Emily McMahon on the cemetery cover-up page. I told him yes, and he told me this week you will hear something about the cemetery. I said, really? I said, this morning I had a good feeling that someone is going to come and help and get in touch with me. John said, someone will. I said, I sure hope so. I pray someone does. Of course, getting choked up. I put a lot of thought into what he was saying and the feeling I got this morning, and I got tears in my eyes. I thought to myself, I am in the grace of God, and that is why I am where I am. Thank you, dear God. June 7th, 2021. This morning I'm busy, but as soon as I was able to, I wrote down a few notes to get the laws drafted for Megan and the rest. I wrote briefly of what had happened. Then when I talked about the day of the digging, I listed what the funeral home had listed on the list of what was in her casket. I have pictures of Megan in her casket, but the only items that were in the casket when they opened it at the cemetery was the Bible, crochet blanket, and the liner to the casket. The two items myself and the attorney had mentioned at a meeting with the city as to what was in the casket to identify Megan, but the casket did not look like the one we buried her in. And as I have asked, where are her dress she was buried in? The white silk and cotton blanket she was wrapped in? Where's the yellow bunny that was put in her casket? She passed away on Easter Sunday, April 4th, 1999. What happened to the Bible? The funeral home didn't mention the Bible on the list of items found in the casket. The items mentioned that my lawyer and I mentioned was the Bible and the blanket. The two items that were found in a casket, the casket that doesn't look alike to Megan's. But the funeral home listed blanket, liner, pendant. And the evening of the day of the digging, we noticed the dark lines. And yet, here we are still trying to prove what they have done. God help us. I'm having really good feelings that someone will come to us to help. Then I feel, should I be doing something else? I keep in mind this is the second week that the ad has run. If I don't hear anything, I will send more letters out to the surrounding states of beep, a file with pictures, this time and more detail. 5:15 p.m., Patty called. I missed your call. 7:41 p.m., I messaged Patty. I wrote, I missed your call. I got home and put my phone on the charger and ran out the door with Madison and went to the cemetery. Area is still flooded. It's been flooded for weeks. It's crazy. We can talk tomorrow and have a good night. I didn't hear back from her, and it was quite all right. I know Patty's going through some of her own stuff, and with everything that is going on, it's hard for everyone. Stay strong-minded, stay positive. I pray she will be all right. June 8, 2021. I want all of this over as soon as possible. Gosh, I just need one person out of all of the millions of people in this country. And I know most of us still have a heart. 11:41 a.m., I went to check the mail, and I had another case file to be returned. That makes 5. Beep, beep. I'm still staying hopeful that someone will help. I'm not giving up. I will hope that Patty will still help me with drafting the laws. Time will tell, and if not, I will figure it out. Today was the last day of the second week of the ad in the beep, beep. Tomorrow starts the beginning of the third week. June 9th, 2021. I woke up, and as I lay here, I wanted to go back to sleep. The days nowadays seem so long and so tough to get out of bed to face disappointments. I will do this. God will help me. 1:11 p.m., when I saw it on the clock, I knew to watch the way I thought. So I started to cry. I asked Megan, what else can I do? What else should I do? Please show me. And at that moment, I felt I would be all right. Madison and I went outside to sit by the pool and take a swim. We spent about an hour out there and then came in and got ready to go to the cemetery. 4:33 p.m., I drove to the cemetery, and it looks as though they have mowed the grass in about half of the portion. We sat with Wyatt for a while, then I drove around to see Megan. There is still water laying on the ground in her area. I took pictures and we sat there with her for a while. As I pulled away, I told my angels we loved them, and I asked them both to help sooner than later. I said I can't take too many more mornings like I've been having, and I asked God to help us. 9:21 p.m., Patty messaged. She asked me to send her some pictures of the cemetery at different times of when it floods. I sent her 4 the first time, then I sent her 2 more. Again, I sent 5 more. She wanted them to post on the cemetery cover-up page. She wrote, I just posted a couple. In the post, she wrote, this gets me. Now, how am I to put flowers on the grave I am visiting? I guess I will wear rubber boots. A bunch of bullshit one does not deserve. Death is hard enough. Goodbyes are even harder, since all we have left are memories. She wrote to me, pass it on to all to send out. I wrote, thank you so much. June 10th, 2021. When I woke up this morning, I turned on the TV to watch a program I usually tune into in the mornings to get my day started. 9:09 a.m., my phone dinged like I had a message. I paused for a moment, then I picked up the phone to see who it was. It's Jen. She wrote, hey, Aunt Em, you should go on and check out the comments on the cemetery page for the post I made back on May 27, 2020. The daughter of the one lady that is buried in the cemetery is commenting. I wrote, all right, I will. I gotta finish up first, but then I will. Thank you, baby. The woman had wrote, it read, They did put in better drainage and it did make it better, but it isn't enough. They obviously don't care to fix the whole cemetery. I am going to be bringing dirt out and filling it around my mother's headstone where it still holds water. It is the city of Beep's responsibility, however. It's been 2.5 years, and it's time I just do right by my mom. I thank you for reposting this. My mother would be so proud that her fight for this matter is being continued. Jen wrote back to her. We want to try as much as possible to bring justice to everyone that is having issues at this cemetery. It needs to be fixed and they need to stop covering up what they did. Beep wrote, justice comes in all forms. We call them out again publicly, doing what they should have done. That is sweet justice. They can't explain away loved ones coming out fixing the problems that their drainage problem caused. We can get enough people together to get out and start filling in the erosion from the drainage problem. Have all the news stations out there when we do it. Jen wrote, my aunt has been trying to get answers for years now, and still to this day has gotten nothing. She has tried so many different avenues. I wrote, beep, yes, let's do that. I am sending files out as to what and when they did what they did to my granddaughter, who is buried in Babyland 6 West. It is always flooded when it rains. Even now, as of yesterday, it's so disgraceful. I wrote again, beep, if you have anyone we could contact and get others involved, I would greatly appreciate any help, anyone I can talk to. Thank you, and I will not give up until this is fixed. Beep wrote, I am on it. Then she wrote, contact the local BFWs because some of those are veterans that are out there. Beep wrote again. That's what I told them I was going to contact the VFW if they didn't fill in my grandfather's grave. Lo and behold, it got done fast. Patty wrote, beep, that's a great idea. I wrote, beep, thank you. I will contact anyone and everyone as I have been doing. I have contacted people from news stations, newspapers, senators, state reps, which have all given good pointers and have all given good leads and were greatly appreciated. I am now going to send my file to the governors around the state of beep because I gotta try everything. 9:23 a.m. I wrote to Jen. Okay, I just commented on it. Will you reread mine and see if I said enough or should I tell her more? When we start getting people together, will you please come here to help me? Jen wrote, yes, I will find a way to get down there and help you. I saw your comment and it is good. This may be an all new way to get more people to see and hear about what is happening, and maybe the state to do something. I wrote, yes. Oh my gosh, yes. Maybe she has contacts we can contact. Jen wrote, very true. I wrote, when it starts, I will get you down here, all right? Jen wrote, all right. I wrote, thank you so much for letting me know she was commenting, and then praised and said her mother would be so proud that someone is still working to get this fixed. Oh my gosh, you know me, baby. I started crying. But yes, we need more to be involved. Jen wrote, I thought that seeing that would give you more hope that we may be able to get more answers or more people to come forward and complain as well. I wrote, yes, yes, and if this lady has complained for years, we have too. We just got to keep getting the word out. Others will come forward, and when there's one, there's others. Jen wrote, yes, I know there are others. They may not know that there are more people fighting the same battle. I wrote, you know, this is exciting, great news for a bad situation. And you know I get emotional. But I know I will be okay. And yes, the same battle. Oh my gosh, baby. They may have a heart-wrenching story like ours. Jen wrote, we have to keep thinking positive. We will get answers. I wrote, yes, with my box of Kleenex, or 2 boxes, we will get this. Jen wrote, I posted the post of the newspaper ad on the cemetery cover-up page. I meant to do it when I first posted it on Facebook, but I missed doing that until today. I wrote, I sent the paper ad to the cemetery post, but I noticed today I hadn't. I know you said to post it. It must have slipped my mind. Jen wrote, it's okay. It's there now. We got it done. I wrote, thank you. 9:34 a.m. Patty called. We talked for about a minute, and I told her that the lady was commenting on the cemetery post. She wanted to look, so we hung up. 10:05 a.m. Patty called back. We talked about what she had posted last night, what we have done to move forward. Patty said she commented about contacting the VFWs. I have to go out and get some mulch, and on my way home, I have to go buy one here in my town. I will stop by and ask questions for you. I said, all right. Oh my gosh, thank you. She said, we are getting this, we will get this. I said, oh, I know. Patty wrote, I do too. 3:32 p.m. I sent beep a private message. I wrote, hi, beep. My name is Emily McMahon, and I had discussed with you this morning about the cemetery flooding. My family is willing to meet out there at the cemetery with all the news station, which is a great idea. I'm wondering how to gather people together. I don't know many, but could we put something together after June 26th? For, well, my niece, Jen, has been helping me with this, and I would really need her to be here. Her second oldest daughter this year is graduating high school, and they are having her party on that day. Can we wait? Not long, though. It's already been way too long for all of us. We have our different stories for the situation, and we need to be able to tell them. Thank you so much. Let's do this. I got back on the cemetery cover-up page and sent beep the message. I wrote, beep, I sent you a private message. Thank you. 7:37 p.m. My friend called and I talked to him for a matter of a few minutes. I was telling him the story of the day and the conversation kept getting interrupted by an audio call. It was from beep 8:12 p.m. Beep messaged me and said, we can make a post on the beep beep to see if we can get help to fill in dirt on the graves that are low and hold water. We can also ask if someone can help with the topsoil to spread out. We can also post this on the Beeps Facebook page. The city may stop us from doing this, so we have to make sure we don't bash the city when asking. We have to come across as we are trying to help. Be the good guy, and then if they stop us, they will become beep. I sent beep a message back. I wrote, you may call me, and I gave her my phone number. I keep trying to answer your audio call, and it won't let me. 8:14 p.m. Beep called. I was feeling pretty darn excited to answer it. She said, hi, Emily, how are you? I said, I'm good, how are you? She said, I'm all right. We talked for almost 2 hours, and the conversation was emotional. We were able to express what each other has gone through with that city. She told me a few things about her story, and when she was done, I said I have the same problem with the flooding, but my problem is with Babyland 6 West flooding, and it looks like a pond. I said, ma'am, they have done some terrible things to me and my family. I told my story to her in a short, brief way, and she said, Oh my gosh, Emily, your story sounds crazy. I said, Jess, I know it does, but I'm going to tell you, a crazy person wouldn't tell the same story for 6.5 years. She said, well, I know how that city is. I know they lie, they steal. They were awful to my mother. My mom worked on this for years, 11 years. She worked on it for my grandfather. Now I'm working on it for my mother, who passed away 2.5 years ago. I said, I'm so sorry. I said, I have been working on it for 6 years, over 6 years, but the COVID hit last year and slowed me down a little bit. But I had written letters to the names on the headstones. I wrote letters to senators, state representatives, actors, actresses, beep, beep, a worldwide attorney. I had been busy this past year. My niece had made the cemetery cover up page, but when I woke up this morning, my niece messaged me telling me you were messaging. I told her you were like a godsend. I have been guided, and I know my babies are sending you to me and me to you. And I can't wait to get this started. She said, yeah, when I got up this morning, that post your niece had posted on the Facebook page of my mom's headstone appeared on my phone. And I don't know how or why, but it was so weird. I said, really? She said, I clicked on it and messaged, and I don't know why I messaged. I don't know what I was even writing. It was my mother. It was like a force with me all day. It may have been a force from my mom and Megan. I was sent to help you. I have to help fix this for you, is what my mom told me. She told me too, Megan is fine. She has Megan, and she likes to comb her hair. I started to cry. I said, oh my gosh, I can relate. My baby has guided me through all of this. I have been guided by the babies and the people that are affected by this. I said, how do I walk away and go on in life knowing what I know? How do I do that? Beep said, you're not going to. I will help you. I said, you will? Oh my gosh, you were sent to me. I had a bad day, a really bad day yesterday, and I was giving it all up. I went to the cemetery and I told my angels, it's too heavy, baby. I can't do it no more. Please, baby, send someone to help us. We need some help. Beep said, I was sent to you this morning to help you. I don't know, my mom was a strong force today, and I knew I had to try to reach out to you and talk with you. And I said, I'm happy you did. She said, all right, now that you know my story and I know yours, we have to get a team together. But first, we have to make a page on the City of Beep web page and acting good Samaritans. I said, all right. I said, well, since this started and they lied about cutting a tree down, I took pictures every time I went out there. Beep asked, do you have those pictures? How far do they go back? I said, I have taken pictures since the day we put Megan there. I have hundreds and hundreds of pictures. She said, I am a professional photographer. I can look at the pictures and tell if they are real or tampered with or cropped or whatever. I can overlay your pictures and tell exactly where the headstone should lay. I can tell the angle the picture was taken. I said, I don't know how to crop a picture. My pictures are 100% legit. She said, when can we meet to let me look at the pictures? I said, whenever you are ready. Call me. You have my number now. Call me and we can meet out there. She said, I have things to do tomorrow, but I will call you Saturday or Sunday. I said, all right. I can be out there in 20 minutes. She said, all right. I live over here off of beep, beep. I said, all right, yes. Call me when you are ready, and thank you. Beep. Thank you so much, and I can't wait to get started. She said, me neither. We have time. We will do this right. We will set up the page. let them shut it down, and then we will get a team together and call the news stations and go public. I said, well, the only reason why I asked you to wait until after the 26th is because my niece has been helping me with this, and she will have to be here. I will need her here. She's my rock when it comes to this. She said, yes, Jen will be here. In fact, I will message her and let her know what we are going to do. I said, oh, all right. Thank you. Oh my gosh, my baby did send you to me. She said, my mama and Megan sent me to you and you to me. I said, we are going to do this. She said, yes, we are. We talked a little longer. We cried while telling our stories, and I believe what the woman told me. My mom and Megan sent me to you and you to me. We even believed through her time of going back and forth with the city that they were doing everything she was asking them to do because they didn't want the news back out there and them taking the chance of me being out there and being able to tell my story. And that was before they fixed the drains. She said, you were at one end and I was at the other end of the cemetery, and they didn't want us running into one another. I believe her, and she believed me. And I was just like, wow. We hung up, and my head felt like it was spinning, but I was so darn happy. Madison said, I haven't seen you this happy in a long time. I said, I am happy. 10:05 p.m., I called Jen. We talked about 30 minutes, and I wanted to call and tell her about what the lady had said and what we are going to do. Jen was happy for me, for all of us. We talked a few more minutes and said goodnight. 10:43 p.m., I called my friend back and told him the story of what the lady and I talked about. He gave me a piece of advice that I already knew. Don't trust anyone. We talked for a few more minutes and hung up. June 11th, 2021. I woke up this morning with a familiar feeling. I didn't cry. I didn't have a tight chest. My gut didn't have a sick feeling in it. I was feeling pretty good. I told God and my angels thank you, and I started my day. As I thought about the conversation, it was so weird. While she was telling me her story and I told her my story, it was almost like some puzzle pieces were fitting together. It was just so weird. She just appeared in a weird way and sent a message to Jen. Then she sent it to me. I messaged the lady back, and after messaging, we went about our day, and then she tried to audio message me last night, and it wouldn't let me connect with her. So I sent her a message and told her if she needed to talk, and I gave her my phone number. She called, and we talked. She told me her story, and I told her mine, and we both agree when there's one, there's two, there's others. We agreed to a game plan to start this. It's gonna happen. This woman took a heavy, heavy load off of me last night, but really all day yesterday from the first message. It's just been so weird. 3:16 p.m., Madison and I took a ride. We had some late lunch and I drove toward home. We went to pick up Zoe to spend a few days with us. We went home and Madison and Zoe invited some friends over to swim. We spent a quiet evening at home, and we have a lot to be grateful for. Thank you, God, for these past 2 days. June 12th, 2021. Thank you. When I called my brother John this morning to wish him a happy birthday, he did ask if I had heard anything. I said I really didn't expect her to get in touch with me yesterday, but she said if not Friday, it would be Saturday or Sunday. I had a good morning. I swear my body has a few aches. My head hurts. My legs hurt. I think a lot of it is the stress leaving my body. Everyone have a great Saturday. And my fingers are crossed. Beep calls. So we will see. But at least if she doesn't, I will use her advice and hire a professional photographer and ask to overlay the picture. I am not giving up. 2:38 p.m. I messaged, beep. I wrote, hi, beep. Just checking in with you. Just a reminder, whenever you're ready to go to the cemetery, I will be ready. Have a good afternoon. 6:53 p.m. Okay, it seems like it's been a long day. I haven't heard from beep. God, I pray that this isn't another slap in the face. 7:33 p.m. Zoe and I left to go to the cemetery. I felt an urgency to go visit. I told Zoe when we got in the car, I said, I need to make sure everything is all right. Make sure her flowers are still there after they mowed the grass the past couple days. Zoe said, yeah. I said, just in case. I hope I didn't give that lady my information and she's not going to get back to me and run with it. I laughed a little bit and said, I told that lady, don't make me hunt you down, because I will be out at the cemetery and make you help me. Joking, of course. Zoe laughed a little, and I said, no, I just hope I didn't say too much, and then she doesn't want to help. And I know I shouldn't be thinking like that, but I have had too many of these kinds of slaps in the face. Zoe said, I know, but you never know who we can talk to and you can tell the story to, and they will take it and help with it. I said, yeah. I finished the drive to the cemetery. I drove back to sit with Wyatt for a little while, and I drove around to see Megan, and as I did, I was looking for Beep's mom headstone. I couldn't find it in that little area, but when I pulled up to Megan's area, there was a pond of water, and the ducks were swimming in it. I took a few pictures. I took up some of Megan's area and her flowers. They mowed the grass and let the flowers where Megan was buried. I love it. They know what they've done. I talked to Megan and asked her to show me the way to help me through this. God gave her the strength, the courage, the wisdom to know what to do, to call me. So let her follow through to help. I pulled away, and as I was driving off, I asked Zoe, can we drive around and see if we can find Beep's mom's headstone? Zoe said, yeah. I said, okay, I'm going to pull up the picture of her mom's headstone and let's look at it to see if we can spot it in the cemetery. She said, okay. I pulled up the picture and I looked at it, gave the phone to Zoe to look at, and then to look to see if we could find it. I drove around on the east side, and it wasn't anywhere in that area, or at least I couldn't find it. So I drove by Megan again and drove back around. By this time, I drove all the way back and drove out on the west side. I looked on one side and Zoe looked on her side, but we still didn't find her mother's headstone. The last time I drove by Megan, I looked over at her and asked her to give Beep the strength, and then said, I love you, my angels. And I drove out of the cemetery and drove home. I now pray that B calls me tomorrow. God help her too. Megan and Wyatt guide her too. 11:03 p.m. when Madison and Zoe came home, Madison checked a phone she thought she had the video on she took while at the cemetery the day of the digging. I have believed for months that we had lost the video because when Madison had checked to see where the video was months ago, it wasn't on the tablet she thought it was on. I have felt sick about losing the whole video of that time that afternoon. But then to find an old phone Madison had back then. I charged the phone while Madison and Zoe were gone, and when they came home, the phone was charged. Madison checked the phone, and she found the video. Oh my gosh, my heart felt like it had melted. I felt my confidence in this case is being rebuilt by the strength of my God and my angels. Thank you to all above for finding that phone. We do have the video. Thank you for listening. And I would like to give you a friendly reminder that Emily's podcast, Tribute to All Little Angels, can also be found on Spotify, Amazon Music, Samsung Podcast, Podcast Index Audible, Listen Notes, RSS.com Community, iHeartRadio, and Google Podcast. Stay kind with your words. Thank you.